What if I told you I recorded my first video for YouTube last year, but I waited 6 months before I could upload it? Sometimes it was an editing issue, sometimes it was something else going on in my life, but what I ended up with at the end of the day was procrastination. Recently, I happened to connect with someone in one of my meditation groups who shared his story with me. Let's call him Alex. Alex was what you would call a prodigal child, always excelling in academics. He was also an extroverted child with great stage presence, so he naturally excelled in school debates and extracurricular activities of those nature. This fostered a competitive nature in him, fueled by the competitive nature of his enthusiastic parents. So his teenage and young adult years went by in being a super performer in his school and college, being ultra competitive, chasing big goals, cracking tough competitive exams, and ultimately landing a coveted high-paying job in the corporate. If you just looked from the outside, Alex was the most sorted person with what you would call a very successful life. But if you dug deep, of late, Alex had not been in his game. He felt tired, unmotivated to even show up at work, was falling sick often, and contrary to his training, he was showing a lack of discipline, which was unacceptable to him considering he placed himself very high as far as the achievement standards were concerned. This was leading him further to self-shame and an overall feeling of being not good enough. So now Alex is on a streak of chasing workshops and courses out there that teach you about high quality goal setting and self-discipline, like Tony Robbins and David Goggins and such. So what went wrong with me in the first example of procrastination and with Alex in his example of lack of motivation? Let me just put it out there. If your brain does not have the raw material to produce motivation, focus, and emotional self-regulation, no expensive coaching program in the world can help you. If the chemistry is off, the system fails. It's not that you're weak or you're lazy or you're not skilled enough. It's your biology, or rather your neurology, that is not supporting you. You don't need more motivation or discipline. The system that you're using is underpowered. Fight, flight, freeze, and procrastination is a depleted nervous system response. So Alex is not broken, and there isn't, anything wrong with his willpower. His body is simply adapting to what he's been doing to it for years. He has been training his body to perform in stress, which is essentially abuse. His nervous system has been in a constant state of fight for almost all of his young years, being under constant scrutiny and performance pressure and judgment. This is the kind of nervous system stress response seen frequently in high performers, entrepreneurs, athletes, heads of corporates, basically people who live busy, disciplined lives, people who chase big goals and are always on the go. People who push through stuff, who skip meals, who live on caffeine and adrenaline, who have erratic sleep schedules. Interestingly, we glorify this kind of hard work. Especially parents take special pride in inculcating this kind of behavior in their children. We place a lot of novelty on burning midnight oil. But your body keeps a score. And one day it's going to stop cooperating to the chase of your big dreams. If you find your conversations going like, I'm inconsistent, I'm the person who quits, I fall off, I start everything great but I never see the finish line, or I know I need to start this new routine or I need to get this thing done but I just can't get around to doing it. If this has become your story, then let me tell you something. You're not lazy, you're stressed. More accurately, your nervous system is stressed. Let's break this down a little deeper. A completely cooperative nervous system is running on balanced neurotransmitters and has no deficiencies. Now, if you have been on the meditation and manifestation alleyways long enough, you surely must have heard about neurotransmitters playing a crucial role in our biology. Neurotransmitters are basically chemical messengers that transmit signal from one neuron to another across a synapse, which in layman terms we call it as our wiring. Any imbalance and your wiring goes off. There are basically three main chemicals that decide how good is your game. First one is dopamine. People think of dopamine as quick pleasure, but that's not all this is about. Dopamine gives a signal that something is worth moving toward. It lets you decide if a goal is worthy of a pursuit. If dopamine is healthy, you make any effort, it feels good. You had a busy, fully productive day at work. You come home in the evening, you are tired and you're spent, but you feel good. Your work feels meaningful. You feel like you made progress. That's healthy dopamine. Excess dopamine looks like scrolling mindlessly through social media, looking for your next hit. Young teenagers addicted to video games, chasing more dopamine. Doom scrolling? Well, low dopamine, on the contrary, looks like loss of drive. Procrastination, which I was dealing with, is a result of low dopamine. When doing something feels pointless, like how I felt before putting my video out. Then the word tomorrow becomes a lifestyle. Procrastination was basically my body protecting me from what she believed is on the other side. The fear of judgment that once I put myself out there, how would people perceive me? Am I ready to face the judgments and the comments of the world? The feeling of not feeling safe enough creeping in. Well, that's procrastination. The next main chemical of the brain is serotonin. Serotonin is understood as a happy hormone, but it's not just that. It's a chemical that makes you pause instead of just react. It lets you delay gratification. Think of it as impulse control. So when things get uncomfortable, it's serotonin that lets you stick to the job and finish and go to the end line instead of just quitting. So if serotonin is imbalanced, you are more emotionally volatile. You get pissed off more easily. You have low emotional tolerance for discomfort and you stay more anxious. The third important chemical is norepinephrine. Healthy levels of norepinephrine feels like an alert state of calm, a readiness to act the moment something goes wrong. It makes you more resilient to stress. Low norepinephrine looks like a brain fog, a kind of fatigue that sleep won't fix, a learned helplessness, avoidance. If norepinephrine is high, it can lead to panic attacks, anxiety, burnout, and even insomnia. So if you find yourself caught in one of these stories, if pushing things for tomorrow has become a lifestyle, then what do? Where's the good news? Before we go any further, I just want to drop a disclaimer here that this information is not a medical advice and it's not a substitute for any diagnosis or medical intervention. Please treat this for information purposes only and use your discretion to apply this information. This is not a replacement for any medical treatment that you would currently be on. So coming back to the good news. The good news is that you can retrain your nervous system and your body toward balance and calm through meditation and simple, consistent mindfulness practices. Stick to the end of this video to know how to meditate to switch on the nervous system healing mechanism in your biology. So we start with making small changes, or what we call developing micro habits. Slow down instead of speeding up. Pay attention to meeting your needs and your nervous system will calm down on its own. Walk slowly but with a quiet confidence and purpose. Eat slowly, savoring all the flavors. Listen patiently. Communication is more about listening than talking. Go for a stroll. Walk without reaching a set destination in a certain time. Another thing you can do is putting yourself in a controlled, uncomfortable situation. So instead of thinking of all the 20 kgs that you need to drop in the next 3 months, or a whole new business that you have to build from ground up, you pick one small thing that you can do today. That would be the tiniest step in that direction. So maybe just finding out what you enjoy in terms of workout. If you like to dance, signing up for a dance class. If yoga is your thing, finding a yoga class in your area and just buying a yoga mat. For work, maybe making that one phone call or sending that one email or writing one page of a document. As one of my teachers used to say, the fastest way to get there is slow. More such examples are basically taking a cold shower. Anything that does not overwhelm you but nudges you a tiny bit out of your comfort zone. Next thing you can do is celebrating your tiny wins. Remember Alex? Do you think he celebrated his wins? He totally forgot about celebration. And his life's mission became only about winning. He's not winning to overcome himself. He's winning to prove to his parents that he's still the best. That little Alex is still working hard to get that validation, and now it's not just from the parents but from the whole world. So I'm now going to jump straight into meditation and breath work without going much into details of each micro habit, as that will make this video too long. If you want me to speak more on these, please mention it in the comments and I shall do my best to make a detailed video on that. The best type of meditation that works best to reset your nervous system is to sit for a period of silence. And this is not just external silence, but deep inner silence that quiets the mind. Do this at least twice a day for 15 minutes each. Start with 3 deep long breaths. Then continue with deep inhale for the count of 4 and slow long exhale for the count of 6 to 8. Breathe in this manner for some time and then drop the counting and continue breathing normally with long exhales. Just sit with your body fully relaxed with a gentle awareness on the inward and outward flow of your breath. Remember to not fall asleep. The idea is to relax to a body to an almost sleep state while keeping the mind still awake. This is called conscious relaxation, and it quiets the sympathetic nervous system and turns on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the switch to healing the body. It gives the signal to the body that it's safe to downregulate the genes of stress and disease and upregulate the genes of well-being. The second most daunting task in meditation is to quiet the mind. So what's the first most daunting task, you ask? Well, the decision to sit in meditation itself, especially for people chronically addicted to external stimulation. A recent study by Harvard showed that one of the most essential ingredients to boost creativity is boredom. Imagine the times we're living in. We have to teach our bodies to get bored. It's okay to be bored. In fact, it's necessary to be bored, to do nothing, to have no plans or agendas. And how do you quiet the mind? By becoming an observer of life rather than the doer. We are stuck in the doership and we are exhausted because of it. We are increasingly becoming more impatient and more intolerant. Look at the wars and the violence happening all around. Waiting has become almost unacceptable. When time is being equated to money, how can we wait? But if this is how you continue to play this game, then you're losing a bigger currency, and that is your energy. You cannot be living on a schedule of ignoring your symptoms and powering through. You cannot override biology. Healing isn't about calming down. It's about teaching your body that it's safe to be fully you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you stuck till the end of this video, I love you already. Do drop in your comments to interact with me. I respond to almost all of my comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the School of Mystics, where we aim to demystify the mystical. This is Shikha. I love you, take care, and see you again soon.